Except for one day he does. He wakes up and the world turns upside down. Control yourself. Take only what you need from it. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Marina Ray, and today I'm coming at you with a huge book haul. So the first book is Shiver by Maggie Stiefvater, and it is about this girl who falls in love with this boy who is half the time a human and the other time a werewolf. Grace is this girl who spends her time outside, and she continuously watches this wolf who she feels a connection with. Sam is the wolf, and he spends most of the year as a wolf and the other part of the year as a human. I'm so excited to read this. The next book is Diviners by Libba Bray, and it's about this girl named Evie who's exiled from her hometown and shipped off. But the only down part is she does have to live with her uncle who has an obsession with the occult. He actually gets called off to a murder that happened, and Evie realizes that her powers could actually help catch a serial killer. The next book I picked up is The Coldest Girl in Coldtown by Holly Black. It's about this girl who lives in this cold town. It's a town full of monsters and humans, and it's kind of like a predator-prey situation. The only thing is, once you go into Cold Town, the gates are shut and you can never come back out. One morning after a really crazy party, Tana wakes up and sees corpses everywhere. The only other people who survived this attack would be her ex-boyfriend, conveniently, and this mysterious boy she knows nothing about. Tana ends up racing against the clock to try to save all three of them by going to the heart of Cold Town. The next book is Illuminae by Amy Kaufman and Christo. It's about this invasion, and these two people are trying their best to get on the evacuation ship out of there with an enemy warship in hot pursuit. But they find out the enemy warship is their least concern because something has broken out and is causing mutations to spread around the fleet's AI, which should be protecting them. They actually may be working with the enemy, and nobody important will tell anybody what's going on. As Katie hacks into the system and is trying to find out what's going on, she finds out there's really only one boy she can trust, and that is her ex-boyfriend. Conveniently. I mean, I didn't really want to pick this up. I'm not a big fan of sci-fi. This sounds very sci-fi, but I've heard everybody go on about this, and I really want to read the newest book that's come out in this trilogy, Obsidio. So I'm going to try it out. Hopefully I will like it, but if not, it will get donated to the library where a bunch of sci-fi lovers can read their heart's content. The next book I picked up is Alex Approximately, and it's by Jenn Bennett. It's about this girl who meets this guy online, and all she knows him by is Alex, and they live far away from each other, but she has a really big crush on him. She ends up moving in with her dad, who lives in the same area as Alex, but concerned for her well-being, really, and just concerned with the fact that he may not be what she thinks he is. She doesn't let Alex know that she has moved to his town. She also doesn't let him know that she got a job as a tourist for a local museum, and she also does not let him know that she's being heckled by some quote-unquote hot museum dude, security guard dude. You get what I'm saying. As time goes on, she realizes she's going to have to choose between the online dreamy relationship with Alex or the realistic, this book says, realistic love with the security guard. I'm going to be honest with you guys. The only reason I picked this up is because it was $3 at Ollie's, and I liked the cover. Also, I'm going to be honest with you guys in saying I did not read the inside of this book, or I would have more than likely not picked it up. But I bought it, so you guys know I have to read it, and while I read it, you guys know I can't DNF it because I don't DNF books. But this sounds like a cheesy love triangle And it sounds like she's going to pick between a fairy tale online persona who she doesn't know anything about and could very well be a killer, a mass murderer, a serial killer, something like that. Or she's going to pick between the easy way out and be content being treated less than she should be by the hot, again quote, hot, museum security guard. I'm not saying anything bad about meeting people online. I actually met my husband online. We've been together 9 years. So I'm not saying anything against meeting people online. But if she will not tell him that she's moved closer to him and she's holding things from him, like this hot security guard, it makes me question her feelings for him and makes me question their relationship in general. That's just my opinion. I don't know. We'll see. I'll read it. We'll see. But yeah. The next book I picked up is Impulse by Ellen Hopkins. It's about this guy named Tony who does drugs. He takes pills and stuff to ease his emotional pain. It's also about this girl named Vanessa who cuts herself. And it's also about this boy named Connor who's contemplating committing suicide. This book obviously has a lot of trigger warnings, so be careful if you do decide to read it. Thankfully, I can read this without being triggered, but I know that a lot of people can't. So I'm interested in these books. I met a new friend at the bookstore when I was vlogging the other day, and she recommended these books. I know there's this one and there's a whole nother set of books by the same author, and they all deal with very hard to talk about situations. So just be wary when reading these. This is written really neat. I do like the way that it's written. It's written almost like poetry. So that's different. They are very thick, but since they are written so sparsely and like poetry, it seems fairly easily read. So I'll see. But I am anxious to get around to this because I do battle with a lot of internal issues. I have been medically diagnosed with bipolar disorder. I have severe anxiety. Debilitating and crippling anxiety. The fact that I can get on here and talk to you guys is amazing. I mean, you guys are awesome because I can't talk to people in person like this most of the time. But yeah, I'm really anxious to get into this. Next book is Dorothy Must Die by Danielle Paige. It's a retelling of The Wizard of Oz, but it's about this person who goes to Oz and realizes Oz is nothing like the stories and the movies. It's actually very dark. She realizes that in this place, the good witches may not be able to be trusted, and the wicked witches may just be the good guys. Also, winged monkeys in this book can be executed for rebellion. There's still a yellow brick road, but apparently that's crumbling too. They say that Dorothy went back to Oz. She seized some kind of power, and the power went to her head, and now no one is safe. This person who went to Oz, her name is Amy Gwen, and she has been recruited by the Revolutionary Order of the Wicked, and she's been trained to kill. Then I got Ruby Red by Kirsten Gier. And all I really know about it is it involves time travel. But as I gather, it's about a girl who is born to a family of time travelers, but she herself doesn't know how to time travel, that she's never been taught.
And then one day she ends up in another area and she's like, I've never been taught how to do this, what do I do next?
The next book that I got is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas, and it's about this girl who kills a wolf in the woods. Then she's dragged to this land that she's heard only about in tales. As she's in this land, her feelings towards, I think its name is Tamlin, change from pure hostility to passion. A bad thing is coming to the land, and the girl has to learn how to stop it. She basically has to save the world that they're in, that she believed was only in tales, in order to save the Tamlin guy, creature, thing that she's developed feelings for. The next book is This Savage Song by Victoria Schwab, and it is about this girl named Kate, I believe, who meets this boy named August. Kate wants to be ruthless like her father and wants to prove herself, And August is a monster who can steal your soul with a song. And some way, somehow, they come together, and some way, somehow, they are both on the same agenda, and it sounds really interesting. This is a duology. I think the second book is called Our Dark Duet, and that's the main reason I'm wanting to get to this so soon, is because I've heard great things about Our Dark Duet, and I want to read it so bad. Plus, the covers are beautiful. Then there's Stealing Snow by Danielle Paige. I don't know anything about this, but it says,
First kisses sometimes wake slumbering princesses, undo spells, and spark happily ever afters. Mine broke Belle. 17-year-old Snow has spent her life locked in Whittaker Psychiatric. She's been locked in a psychiatric ward, but she isn't crazy. And that's not the worst of it. Her very first kiss proves anything but innocent when Belle, her only love, turns violent.
I thought My First Kiss was bad, but Snow's is pretty bad. Then there's The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware. It's about this journalist who gets sent on an assignment on a cruise ship, and in the middle of the night, she hears a woman being thrown overboard. The only thing is nobody's missing from the cruise ship. Everything is exactly how it should be. She tries to tell everyone that something's not right, but nobody believes her and thinks that everything is okay. She's being totally ignored. This sounds so good. I haven't read anything like this before, so I'm so excited to read this because I'm not really big into thrillers, not because I don't like them, but only because I haven't read a lot of them. I want to get to this one this month because it sounds so good. Then there's All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr, and I've heard a lot about this on BookTube. A lot of my friends on Goodreads really enjoyed it. I love stories about people involved in the generation with the Nazis and stuff because there's so many empowering people to read about, and they endured so much. So I'm just anxious to read this because it sounds like something I'm just gonna love. Then there's To Kill a Kingdom by Alexandra Christo, and this is my most excited book of right now. It's about this princess who's siren royalty, and she keeps hearts buried deep under the sand of her bedroom. It says,
I have a heart for every year I've been alive. There are 17 hidden in the sand of my bedroom. Every so often I claw through the shingle just to check they're still there. Buried deep and bloody, I count each one of them so I can be sure none were stolen in the night. It's not such an odd fear to have. Hearts are power. And if there's one thing my kind craves more than the ocean, it's power.
And I just had to read that, and I knew this is the book for me. I know that not a lot of people enjoyed it. I know that it has really mixed reviews, but I love mermaids. I love sirens. I love sirens. So this is my most anticipated book that I'm going to be reading in the next month. This will definitely be on my June TBR. I'm sure of it. I'm so excited to read this. Fingers crossed that it's exactly what I want it to be. Then there's The Darkest Part of the Forest by Holly Black. It's about this girl and her brother who lives in this place where humans and fairy creatures both reside. Visitors come, tourists come just to look at the place, but they don't realize how dangerous it is. There's this boy in the glass coffin that they've all been telling each other stories about. They pretend that he's the prince and they're his knights. They pretend that he's different than the other fairies, the not good fairies, the ones that bargain, and they're just not really good fairies. The only thing about it is as they grow up, they realize it's just stories, that he's probably never going to wake up. He's probably going to stay asleep forever in his glass case, except for one day he does. He wakes up, and the world turns upside down. Hazel eventually becomes the knight she's always pretended to be. She just gets swept up in a whole bunch of mess. I'm super excited to read. Then the last book is Matched by Allie, and in this world, officials decide who you're gonna love, where you're gonna work, and when you will die. It's about this girl named Kasha, and she's always trusted the officials' decisions. Her best friend appears up on the matching screen, and she's for sure that he's the one.
Until she sees another face flash for just an instant.
Now she's faced with the possibility of being with Xander or Kai. Between the only life she knows and a path one dares to follow. Between perfection and passion. This one sounds right up my alley. It's a dystopian romance. You can't get better than dystopian romance, except for paranormal romance, then you can get better. Yeah guys, that's all I have for you. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Don't forget, I post videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Go check out my other videos. I have some pretty interesting videos up right now. So I will see you guys later.